Let me see if hold on a sec. Let me see if I can. Let's see if he answers. Let's. Oh shit! Hold on. Hey,
Hey, what's up?
hey, what's
Oops,
going
I
on, man?
accidentally muted Paratus. Let me go back real quick.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Do you want to? You can
Fine.
bring him in if you want. That'd be
Yeah,
awesome if he's in. If
I'll
he's
add him
into
to
it.
the call.
All right,
Yeah.
sweet. Let me just double check my work email too, because I just took a lunch break, and I gotta make. There's a system that was having issues. I gotta make sure that it's not blowing up. Dude, I can't believe it already. Holy shit.
Yeah, man.
I know,
I'm
dude.
excited. We've been
I
waiting so
know.
long to tell everybody about this.
I
Like
know.
we've kept it secret for almost a year now, and
I know. I as soon as you guys told me that it's been. Oh shit! There's talking about.
oh, where am I hearing myself? Oh, there you go.
Because the stream,
At your
yeah.
yeah. All right. Let me cancel the call on Paratus and then re-invite him real quick.
Okay, I could pull him in too. It's either way. You probably have him handy then. Oh man, I'm so excited.
All right. Hopefully he answers. It's probably gonna be like, "Why did you hang up on me?"
What the hell? Oh man.
Oh, hey
Oh,
man.
perfect, perfect. There you
Yo,
go. I didn't
what's up?
mean
Hey.
to, like, I
What's
just
up?
clicked on the green button. I didn't mean to hang up on
It
you.
says he
But
pushed the yes button.
yeah.
Nice.
So dude, I can't believe it, man.
Yeah, finally, man. We've been waiting to get this out. Well, we wanted to put this live. I think you knew on New Year's Eve, right? That was the big
Yeah.
plan.
Yeah.
And then at least New Year's Day, we wanted to be able to show
Well,
everybody.
the hold up, the reason that we couldn't tell anybody, or the reason we had a delay, is because Kickstarter had to approve it. It took 3 business days for them to do that, and obviously that was this Monday or today, this morning.
Yeah, and with the
And
holidays and the weekends and
yeah,
all that stuff, it just pushed it so far.
yeah.
Yeah.
We had this finished actually just before Christmas, and we were hoping to get it out then, um, but those plans fell through. There were some delays. Paratus had to, go jump some hurdles to get it all running. So we're good now. Um,
Oh man. So what do you guys like? What are your first impressions with the reaction? I mean, it's been what,
man,
like an
dude,
hour already?
mind blowing, dude.
Very
Like
good, very
they
good. I'm really happy to see that.
I mean, it
It's
just
been
picked up to 32 backers, 2670. It,
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
crazy, really, for how long it's been going. I'm really happy. I mean, we
yeah,
can
we're
definitely hit that goal. I don't even think it'll be a problem, actually.
no, I
you
don't
know
think.
uh,
I think you're gonna
yeah.
blow it out actually. And it's with. I mean, you figure like people think this is like some big budget game, but it doesn't cost. It's not free to just get in. Well, did you say something? I don't know. I'm not gonna bring the business plan in, but for $10, man, to get in, it's like $8 US. I mean,
Well, the way that we have this planned is specifically you purchase a passport stamp to go to this world, and those passport stamps uh, are your pass into the game. Like that's what our current plan is. I don't know if we'll stick with that by the time we relaunch, but right now that's what we have on paper, and we're going with. And those passport stamps like cost like $10 if we ever want to put DLC out, and I don't think we will. But that's the option is there. We can just you could pay another $10 for another passport stamp, for your passport, and
yeah, that's.
Yeah,
Go
the
ahead.
price of the password stamp, I'm not sure really. It might go up a few dollars more than this. I
yeah,
wanted to keep
we'll
it
see.
pretty low for the buy-in for people who, jump in early on with Kickstarter. Sort of like a thank you to them. Because I mean, really what you're paying is more around $8, not 10, because it is,
For US, yeah.
Canadian dollars. Right, yeah. When the game's live, everything's going to be in American dollars, so that alone will be a bit of a change. But yeah, for now, it's going to be pretty cheap, at least for the first few people here.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
And I was telling them, like, with UE4 and how quick it is to throw things actually down on paper, man. It's like it's not like you're dealing with the constraints of the Arma engine and all this kind of things, all these kind of things where you're like, oh, I wish I could do this, and I know how to change it, but I don't have the rights to, and all that kind of stuff.
Oh
And
my God, man.
I mean,
That right there is the number one thing for me. I am so excited to finally be able to work in a system where we can do what we actually want to do. I mean, with Arma, there's been a dozen times where we had this really cool idea of something we wanted to implement, but we couldn't really do it as a mod. You know what I mean? Now we have access to the full source code of the engine. We can do absolutely anything. We can modify the engine itself to be what we want it to be. So really, the sky's the limit now. There's nothing that we can't do.
yeah, and like with the updates to to UE4, you don't have to worry about actually worrying about updates to the core engine. You can just make sure all your content gets upgraded or ported up to make sure it's all compatible with the latest and greatest. So as development goes, it's still going to be cutting edge. It's not going to be like you're stuck on this engine until
Right.
they come out with maybe 5. But I have a feeling their transition path will be a lot better when they do a new full release of the engine.
For sure. And, Unreal Engine 4 makes it even better because with 3, I worked on an MMO that's based on Unreal Engine 3. And whenever we wanted to do an engine update, which wasn't nearly as frequent, releases as Unreal Engine 4 here, but when we did, we'd be looking at 2 months or more, 3 months even, to just implement that new engine update into our game. It was a huge job. But now with Unreal Engine 4, they have like plugin systems and stuff. So for minor systems that we have, it's almost effortless when there's an upgrade. So we can add new engine features in very, very easily, which is going to be great. Now we're running a lot of middleware too. It's not just a stock Unreal Engine system.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
what a speed tree. What else is there? The weather system. I forget what that is called.
Yeah. Well, we're going to be using a few things.
Yeah.
I don't really want to go into too much
Okay.
detail yet because I'm just not 100% sure if we're going to stick with where we are right now,
Right.
But yeah, we're using a lot of really cool middleware, and the actual network side of things is being modified too. So when it comes to the amount of people on the server, I saw a lot of people have been asking about that. Really, our limitation isn't even technical, it's design. So we could do a few thousand, we could do 4,000 people on the server, no problem. But we're not going to, because really what it comes down to is how many people do we want to fit on the map. So it comes down to world size more than it does to, technical limitations and networking.
We'd have a number of official servers to accommodate everybody that can't fit onto one server, and at the same time, we intend to allow people to rent or purchase private servers that they could host alongside the official servers, and list their servers alongside our official servers in the exact same server browser list.
Yeah, and it's really cool because I mean you come from an MMO background, you know how the pitfalls are and how like companies kind of can do good things and bad things, and what work ethics are a waste of time, and and so many brains involved now. It's not like it's just an internal community. You have a lot of extra input from the outside world and recommendations, and you've been super good about listening to the community on Asylum already. That it's gonna be this whole melting pot of ideas going into one collective effort.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, I don't think anything has ever been done quite like what we offer here, as far as MMOs or even just RPG sandbox games.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to see what the community actually comes up with ideas too, because it is early enough right now that while we have a lot of ideas of our own that are already being done, it is early enough that if people have something that's really cool that we hadn't thought about, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of things we haven't thought about, then, we could most likely get those in before release too. So the fact that people are getting to see it so early on could mean that they could actually have an impact on what we do, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's very unique. It's a lot of it's got that like, oh god, I'm not, don't give me the money.
I know you guys saw that
on.
that concept art there with the camper. We asked the concept artist. His name is Pav. What is his last name? Something very
I'd have to look it up.
something very Russian that I can't pronounce. And we asked him to kind of toss in a throwback to Breaking Bad. Something that would catch people's. Yes, so you see that. You see him wearing the Breaking Bad outfit with the Breaking Bad camper sitting there. That's a meth lab. That's a mobile meth lab. Well, it's just a meth lab. I don't know if it's specifically mobile, but it's
yeah, no, the art is awesome too. I mean, that could all become, with the lighting and all that, and the landscape design you can do, and how big worlds you can actually make it. I mean, you can be out in the middle of nowhere with your camper and
Absolutely.
be like completely secluded, and oh man, I just can't wait to like just look at it, because it's not going to be clunky. It's going to fucking run smoothly. You're going to have a lot of people around you on top of it. I just love, I love the lighting and texture for the most part, man. Like Unreal,
the engine. It is amazing, really, the graphics you can do. The thing is, when it comes to control, I know a lot of our players right now, they're probably worried that it's not going to feel like Arma and everything. Like a lot of these people love Arma. Then again, probably more hate it. But so we're kind of going for like a middle ground here. The actual movement of your character is going to feel a lot smoother than it does in Arma. But at the same time, weapons and vehicles, all that sort of thing, they're going to handle very realistically. So the weapons are going to be quite in line with Arma. We're going kind of like a realistic approach to this to an extent. Obviously we want to keep it fun, but it's not going to be a complete arcade fest like Grand Theft Auto, if you know what I mean.
Right, yeah.
So when it comes to weapons, a bullet is going to hurt like a bullet should hurt. And
you get into a car crash. Yeah, you get into a car crash. You do some front end damage to your car, and if you impact hard enough, you're actually going to, that's going to hurt your character, maybe even kill you. It's not going to be just bumper cars like you see in some other games.
Yeah, you're not going to die if you hit the parking barrier.
Yeah, exactly.
Go flying up into the sky.
And we won't have any chicken wire fences.
Yeah, no
Keep
chicken
those
wire.
out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that is the control. And what's really cool though is with like, you have the control, like, with people hacking and security breaches and all that stuff. You can see this and target and see where they're injecting themselves, if they can, even at the beginning, and make quick changes and fast updates, and everyone's going to get them. Whereas, you're so at the mercy of Bohemia at this point to, maybe consider your suggestion. Now you have complete control, and make sure it all runs as well as you want it to. And what I'm really looking forward to is just I don't know. It just seems like everything you've wanted from Arma can be thrown in here, and like you get your housing. You can feel like you have a stake of the land, and you have a place to call your own. It's a little it's got that little Second Life feel to it, but it's way more fun and action oriented. It's not just about the roleplay. You have a lot of gameplay elements. You can, the sky's the friggin' limit,
I mean, you could be a cop. What other games allow you to play as a cop and arrest other players, in a multiplayer open world setting, I find that mind-blowing that this is the first game that is actually proposing an idea like that,
and not like Battlefield Hardline where you just spawn in and go crazy on each other. The role playing of being a cop and arresting someone, and it's gonna be like all the evidence is gonna be thrown in there. Like you can, there's gonna be, like if someone gets killed out in the middle of nowhere, they have to collect evidence and figure out all this stuff about what happened to convict somebody. There's gonna
You could even use the computer in your patrol car and like look up people's license plates, and it's
and do background checks and all that kind of
do
stuff.
background checks, absolutely. See who's wanted, and absolutely.
Yeah, it's so cool, and you know, and I, you know, I was throwing them a lot of ideas in the beginning. You know, we had a little, you know, Skype chat, and then I was like, all right, I'm making a document. I want to throw down all my ideas as quick as I can, and like it's so weird. Like when at that moment, I was like, this is a blank canvas. It's like anything can happen, and that's what's really exciting. Is it could just go whichever direction you want it to. Of course, there's going to be some limitations and some you know nuances that just you know things might not work the way you want it to. But for the most part, you can pretty much do anything as long as you plan it out ahead of time. And that's why the community is so important to like give their ideas and throw in whatever you know support you can. And the more you know backers we have, the you know just the higher you know higher caliber this game's going to be. You know. And
Yeah.
I don't know, like I couldn't be more excited about it though. God, we
And
could bite our
we're
tongue
so
for
glad
so
to hear
long.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Oh
really
my
excited
God,
ourselves.
we
We've
had-
been going crazy with this thing.
Man, it's been driving us nuts, man. Like we're like everything that just held us up, you know, has driven us crazy. We wanted people to see this for so long, you know, months now, and you know we just couldn't do it.
I know you didn't like because there's a point where if you hype it up and do it too
Yeah.
soon, then you're gonna you know that could be almost detrimental, and you could shoot yourself in the foot if you don't do it right. If you say, oh, your whole foundation is based off of something that's gonna you know not be really well thought out, and from what I can tell so far, I mean there's a lot of concept art and stuff, but you can see a lot of the core features and the aesthetic and how well it runs. And like I love the part where you're just talking in you know in the prison, man. Just you can hear the you know the resonance of the hard floors and the echoing and all that stuff. And it's not just like TeamSpeak where you know it's just gonna be your flat voice from your microphone to their ears. It's gonna have all these like environmental effects and
Yeah, exactly.
the immersion's
The
gonna be
voice,
there.
the voice is something that we're going to be putting a good bit of work into. We're going to be using, most likely, if it continues the way it is, the same codecs that TeamSpeak uses by default, which means your voice quality will be on par, at least, with what you have in TeamSpeak. Of course, it'll be coming from the game, and we can add all kinds of atmospheric things on top of it. You know, it'll be different, of course, if you're using a radio or if a voice is coming from a speaker or something like that. You know what I mean? Like we're talking about in a video, for example, of karaoke bars where, you know, you can get up on a stage and use a microphone and actually sing into this and it will amplify your voice. So, well, you know, the person singing it will see a monitor with the words that they're supposed to be singing, and then they get to, you know, spew it all out. And I'm sure that'll be hilarious. Things like that. Just we used to have the Altus Idol competitions. We still do.
Oh, yeah.
On this time, that
That's
is funny
hilarious.
stuff.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Oh yeah,
Because I
the
mean,
worse
it is
people
about
are,
the
the better.
people. I mean, it's about the people and the interaction and stuff, and giving them the ability to do whatever you know, all these extreme things. Like you know, you could go to like you have the classic movie theater. I think you're saying where everything is kind of open rights to play, and you guys can all just sit around a movie theater and just you know, Mystery Science Theater 2000 that thing. And
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be that's really cool. You know, it's not just a gun game after all. It's gonna have you know the gunplay elements to it, and it's gonna be you know action oriented at some points. But you know, if you wanted to live the humble life, you can still do that as well.
Right. The
Yeah.
idea is that we want a lot of action. We want there to always be something that you can be doing, right? If you feel like getting into it, you should be able to. But at the same time, a lot of the time that when you go to play a game, you know, you only have 20 minutes or whatever. You don't really have time to really get into, or if you're just tired, not in the mood. So we want to have a lot of stuff on the side that you can do in the towns and whatnot, just for the fun of it. Even out of the towns, we have little things like you can grow your own crops, you know, all kinds of things like this. So there's a lot of downtime kind of stuff going on alongside the big combat and cops and robbers. You know.
Yeah.
Sorry, one sec, guys. I have a work email.
Yeah, no
that
problem.
Just, I snuck home from work and like I was like, oh my god, I gotta get on. It's at least gotta talk
they-
about it for a little bit before you know
Did
later.
they catch
and,
you?
Oh man, yeah, our production system is backing up, and we're like, oh, you want to reboot it? And last time we did this, the whole thing went down, and we had a late night, so I'm trying to avoid that.
Yeah.
But I mean, any like is there any things like that you think may not have been conveyed in the Kickstarter that you like, little inside tidbits that people don't know about from here?
There's a lot of things that we're still working on. We have a lot, like we have like a very long list on our of things that we've thought of on our game design document already. I know you came up with some that we didn't think about already. I think we've written some of those in. But anyway, one of my favorite things is the prison system. Owning territories in the prison. When you go to jail, prison isn't just like sitting in a little box like you see currently on Asylum Life. It's its own mini economy where you're trading cigarettes or spending money at the concession stand, or joining a gang and owning territory on the prison yard. Or like that's one of my favorite parts so far.
Doing laundry.
Doing laundry, yeah. There'd be little jobs like that too to progress, earn money, and
that is actually one of the things you can do. Is
that is, yeah. And
yeah, that's cool, and I'm sure there'll be a job as like a prison warden where you're gonna try to keep the masses at bay, and it'd be maybe like, I don't know, like SWAT teams if there's a break and they're trying to collapse everybody back in.
Now, the way it works for SWAT and stuff like that is we're talking about it a little bit in the video, but we really didn't get into it. So there's the careers now, right? The careers, like police being one of them. Now, it doesn't really work how it does in Arma, where you join a slot and then you're a cop, right? When you log in, you're a civ. And you actually go to the police station if you want to interact there, and you begin working as a cop. As you move up the ranks and grow in the talent trees, you can spec into certain things like SWAT, like you're saying, for example, is one of them. There's a lot. And in there, SWAT, for example, when certain events happen in the world, you are going to become active optionally as a SWAT member for that event, things that warrant a SWAT team. So really, if there's like like an armed bank robbery or something like that, it's going to be people who have developed themselves to that point that can really go in there and take care of things tactfully. And there's, another example I gave in there, I think I mentioned detectives and the fingerprint system. So you can actually say you found a gun on the ground. You could check it for fingerprints, find out who's held that recently, stuff like that. So it's very detailed.
Yeah, tell them about the court system.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite parts, man, as well.
The court system is kind of similar to what we have on Asylum right now, but obviously goes a lot more in depth.
We added the Asylum court system after we thought of it for this game, but of course, like a much dumbed down version of it, for Altus Life.
Yeah, like if anybody doesn't know the Asylum court system, pretty much if you get arrested, you can go to an NPC and say, I want to, request a trial, and then it'll randomly request, a certain amount of jurors to go report into the courthouse, and then there's a quick, 2-minute case appeal here, and then the jury votes on it, and if they're acquitted, they're out of jail. So it's not like you get sent to jail; you have to wait the time out. But I could see this, obviously you can have lawyers involved and bigger, a nice courthouse where you're standing behind a bench or something, and yeah, it could be a little more intense than, the limitations.
Yeah, for example, you will also have the added benefit of having attorneys too, which are played by people. Anyone could be one. When you request a trial, you're going to decide on who your attorney might be. So the cool thing is that just having a little simple thing like that opens doors too. So now that means that you could actually might get a gang or a guild of people who are professional attorneys who argue cases, and they do that for a living because they could get paid doing it. There's so many little things like that that can become possible as professions, stuff that you've never seen in a game before. For example, if you have an apartment, being a good interior decorator could actually be a job, because you could, be good with colors and furniture placement, all that sort of things.
You can craft furniture even in some cases. And
Yeah, the majority is crafted. So I believe I touched on this a little bit in the video. I'm not sure how in depth I went. But for example, say the curtains hanging on the wall by the windows. If you take those, you can, when they're made, you're choosing the style of curtain, you're choosing patterns on it, you're choosing colors. And, just in colors alone, there's 16 something million colors. So really you can, even a simple thing like a piece of furniture can be totally customized for that environment. And we do the same sort of thing when it comes to clothing and all kinds of other systems in there. Everything is crafted. Well, not everything is crafted, but the majority of things are, and everything that is crafted could have a good bit of customization in it too. Sorry, I have a cold right now if I'm hard to understand.
Too much tequila. Hey, so also, I mean, I don't know if people are interested. I mean, like, also look into what the power of UE4 can do. I mean, like, there's this huge knowledge base of things that like UE4 can actually do. Like, I mean, it has built-in like VR support if you ever wanted to go that route. Like, Oculus would probably be supported if if you wanted to put your head in there, and be even more immersed. Like, UE4 has that inherent like feature set to allow for things like that. So I don't know if that's going to be an immediate thing or how hard it is to implement, but I mean,
Rift will be immediate. Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, Rift support there. That's huge. Like, you couldn't do that on Arma. You would throw up. Like, it just wouldn't work. It's too hard and it's too clunky and laggy and all that stuff. You can't, like, I mean, this is going to be butter. Like, the gameplay is going to be tweaked to make sure the frames are good, everything's gonna look crisp, there's nothing's gonna be super glitchy. Hopefully, I'm sure there's gonna be bugs. I mean, that's every video game known to man has their bugs, but it just by using UE4, it's gonna eliminate a lot of that, because they have entire huge amounts of forces to actually update the engine all the time. Like, I mean, I've probably gotten like a billion different updates since I downloaded UE4, and if you don't have it, like, if you want to try it out, like, it's $20 and you can just get the latest update and you can use that update forever. You don't have to keep paying into it. But the business model of UE4 just makes sense too, to use it. I mean, it's like, it's not a huge mystery what they charge for it. It's $19 a month, and they take 5% of your sales. Like, it's they get their cut.
It is so much better than what they did with Unreal Engine 3. That thing was expensive if you went the licensed route. So I'm really happy they're doing what they are right now with Unreal Engine 4. Not to mention the insanely frequent updates like you're talking about. I mean, like, every week you're getting a little update, almost, a significant one every month or two. Is crazy.
And you can buy into, like, they have different modules. Like, I'm looking at a modular building set for $65, and then you're licensed to use any of this. So there's a ton of community generated content that you can immediately use plugins and customize them to however you want. Like, I'm looking at like modular sci-fi hallways. Like, if you ever wanted to take it to space, like, you have that kind of stuff. It's a whole countryside looking thing here. Like, I'm just looking through all the different things you can just see, and I mean, there's so much. There's an enormous community behind UE4 on top of the enormous community of the Arma Life people, and I'm telling you, man, the sky is the limit at this point. Yeah, like, I'd love to show people some of this. Actually, I'm gonna load up this little matinee fight scene just to show people, like, what can be done in real time. It's so freaking cool. I don't know nearly enough features about UE4. I mean, John, probably way more Way more having worked in
There's
UE3.
there's a ton you can do with it.
I mean,
I mean, really,
the
there's no
blueprints on
limit
top
to what
of
we
like
can do.
Yeah.
you can take the engine at its core and customize it that way with C# or something, or C++. And yeah, it's I mean, it's freaking sweet. Like, what do I do? I think you just click launch, right? Doesn't that do it? I wanted to play this matinee.
It depends on how it's set up, but probably.
Maybe
Yeah,
just
I imagine it's already
there you
linked.
go. Like, this is real time. I don't know why my textures are all fucked up.
At the beginning, it might be compiling shaders. That could take a couple minutes on big scenes.
It's super loud. I didn't realize the music was gonna fuck it up. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Sorry. I'm failing hard. I failed hard on that one. Yeah, it's compiling shaders. Yeah, I don't think I let it all load yet. Yeah, it's still loading everything while playing. But yeah,
I mean, really, graphically, this engine is top notch. It's brand new, well, virtually, and the only limitations to it are the limitations of the people behind it, right? I mean, just about anything can be done at this point because they were so great to make it open source. I mean, if you pay that $20 a month, you're going to get full access to the game engine code, the actual code of the engine itself. And because of that, really, if you know what you're doing with programming, anything that is not already built into the engine, you can really just work in yourself or modify however you need to, which is why it's perfect for us, you know?
Yeah. I mean, just like, you know, with like the reflections and the shaders and the, you know, the textures, the lighting, it just looks so good. And then having some brains behind it on top of it will make it even, you know, way more fun. And I don't know if do you want to kind of explain how the open worldness of everything is going to kind of work, and you know how you know, like, I know your apartments are kind of instanced. I'm not sure what else is going to happen with that.
At this point, most of the instancing we have is strictly for player housing. And most of that is because of the furnishing, right? That's a lot of data. We can't really just have that floating around in the world every time you get in here. So for apartments and houses, it's going to be sort of like Skyrim-ish. When you interact with the door, you're going to just quickly load in a second or two, depending on, you know, how fast your internet connection is and everything. And then you're going to be in a home and you can interact with everything inside. The rest of the world, like when we come to shops, everything are for the most part going to be open. You know, this engine, we're doing some pretty cool things too. The engine itself can do an enormous map. Actually, there's no real limit to the size of the map. We expect initially our world size to be somewhat the equivalent of Altus. We don't really know exactly how big we're going to take it at this point, but we're imagining somewhere around there, and we'll probably be expanding on it as we go too. And most of that's going to be all open. So you're not going to be getting loading screens as you move around. That'll never happen.
Right.
Because, I mean, that'd be an immersion breaker like no other. But
yeah, you kind of have to. You have to kind of initiate something to load it. Like, if you know, it's not like you're going to hit a zone wall and have to like EQ across the, you know, and wait 5 years for the, you know, the next town to open up. Oh, 50 backers, man. We're up to 50.
Yeah.
Holy
really
shit.
taking off.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And I mean, as soon as you know, other people start catching wind of this, you know, this is still early. It's I can't see this slowing down.
Oh yeah, man. We only went live like an hour or two ago.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing. Almost $3,500 in
couple hours, yeah.
2 hours. It's mental. Yeah, I honestly think, and with the, I don't know if you guys saw the website up here. It's identityrpg.com. They got the placeholder here right now, but do you guys have any info on the community site by chance?
Well, it's still being built right now, so What you will have is obviously forums, news and updates on what we're doing. The actual Kickstarter page is going to be updated with, a pretty regular interval as well. We can attach updates. You see down at the bottom, you have a tab for updates. There's nothing in there right now, but we'll be updating our backers as we go. The community site will also most likely have some sort of crowdfunding system built into it too, to extend this. It all really depends on how things go with the Kickstarter campaign. So it's a little early to say, but the website's being produced now. We've got some people
and
on doing that.
It's safe to say that this is going to get made whether we get funded or not. We're not going to give up on this just because, but of course we're definitely hoping it will, and we have investors that are really interested in helping out with this as well.
We can. The money's not a huge concern. I mean, basically what it comes down to is if we don't do very well on the fundraising on here, we're going to be going. Not necessarily. Well, it will take a little bit longer, but not so much. It's more that we're going to have to get outside funding through a publisher, and when we do that, we lose a little bit of control. So I really would love to avoid that. So really, it comes down to the backers here. If we get enough people backing and putting up this investment in the beginning, then that changes the whole route.
Operation,
yeah.
Exactly. And if it's completely independent, then we're not going to be restricted in anything we do. We're not going to have to follow anybody else's orders. We just make the game that we want to make, which is ideal for sure. So a lot comes down to this, but the game is going to happen one way or the other.
Apparently, the Facebook link is broken on the website. Let me see.
Oh, from the Identity RPG.
Oh no, it works for me. Never mind. Oh, is it not public?
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Oh my God, it's not.
It's all right.
All right, there we go. I made it public. There we go. I was wondering why nobody was following it on Facebook, but that explains it.
Yeah, there you guys go. Yeah, it's working now. There you go. Good call out.
Thank you. Whoever said that in chat.
There's just all the different mediums. You got Twitter over here. Follow the Twitter Identity RPG at Identity RPG. You got 6 following you. I'm sure that'll jump up, or actually 43 following. This is. Oh man, I'm just so excited. I've been cock teasing people so hard for the last 3-4 weeks. It's like, oh yeah, something's coming. I'm like, it's not what you expect. It's not a independent modded server. It's not the GTA 5, man. It's something different. I can't say what it is, but now we can talk and get ideas. And I don't know who your artist is, but he's awesome, man.
Pav something Russian guy. I wish I knew his name right away.
It's like a painting. It's like modern paintings. Yeah,
dude, the guy is a genius, man. We absolutely fell in love with everything he made for us, and he was churning these out in less than a day, each of these pieces.
Wow,
and,
really?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh man. All right, well, I'm probably gonna have to get back to work here, guys. I wanted to at least get you guys, in on it a little bit, because I don't want to spiel from my end, because you guys know way more than I do, and I'd rather be genuine from and not a bunch of bullshit from me. But I mean, I have a little more time. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about? Just a little. Keep something in their heads about anything or whatever you guys want to go.
Yeah, if anybody has a question, feel free.
Yeah, I mean, Where would be the best place to ask you these questions and put input for now until the site's being built?
I think there's a comment section on the Kickstarter page.
Okay.
You can also message us on Twitter and Facebook, and there's.
We'll be keeping a close eye on all of the social media pieces that we have until the website's up, and obviously after that too. But yeah. So anything posted to any of those locations will work. we'll be reading them all many times per day. So
Sweet.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you guys go. I mean, Twitter, Facebook, the comments on the Kickstarter page. Throw your ideas and support on there. If obviously you guys can, please feel free to support and pledge what you can. Like I said, I believe in you guys 100%, and I think if you you do support this, it's not going to be a waste. It's going to go straight into it. Like he said, the more that comes into it, the more independent the game's going to be, instead of having some extra company to fund the project as well. And then they may have a different, they may pull an EA on it, which we really hope they don't. And I'm assuming you would only take a backer that would give you a lot of control of it too, if that were the case. But
oh, for sure, yeah.
And you already have a lot of connections in the industry as well. So
of course, we'll keep it honest. We've always been very honest with our community. We've always been very transparent.
Yeah, that's
we'll remain to be transparent. With this project, you'll see some, I'm sure, weekly updates on the progress of the development. At least that's what our goal is. We'll see what the future brings. But we it's the community that's paying for this, so we owe them the progress. We owe it to them to know exactly what we're working on, to remain completely transparent, and we will keep updating the community as often as possible with that progress.
And I think transparency is very key.
Yeah.
It's a
yeah.
People want to see where things are coming from, what kind of things are going about here, and one is just, that's kind of like, it's like like it's almost like politics and stuff. The more you share, and the more input you take, the more appreciative the community will be, and it's something you guys have already done so well with Asylum and the Life mod. And that's the reason why I believe you guys are the best community in Arma for what it's worth. It's still super popular. The servers are always still jam packed. People realize a good product, and to take it outside of Arma, it's gonna be even that much better. But yeah, guys, show your support. I'm gonna be dumping 250 in it in a second here. And it's I like I said, I believe in it 100%, and I think you guys should too. One more backer before Zwizzy's throwing it hype, man. Yeah, so if you guys don't know, I'm talking to Motown and John, or Sean, Motown and John. They're the that's Paratus and Motown of the Asylum crew, and Paratus is the lead dev on Asylum, and Motown's the community manager. And they're the two head honchos that make this community amazing. And keep up the support, guys. Keep it going, man. Everything's awesome. I can't believe it's up to 3,500 almost in 2 hours, and it's still going strong. And that's just that's with 29 days to go. Quickly, I mean, I know it's early. If you do blow out the 15 grand goal, are you going to be posting, I'm assuming, like stretch goals after that? And
yes,
what would happen if
we will have stretch goals. Okay. Yes, yeah, you'll see those popping up when we meet the goal.
Start getting close, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, sweet. But yeah, there you guys have it. Identity, man. I'm pumped. I can't wait to see how things progress, and yeah, good job, guys. I'm proud of you. This is awesome.
Yeah,
thank you. We're really excited too.
Yeah, definitely, man. Thank you, everybody, for the support. We love you guys.
All right.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. That's crazy how many we've gotten already. It's a good start.
Yep, good start. It's just going to keep going strong. The trains are coming. Thanks again, guys. I'll probably be on more to talk about it later, but I got to go back to work. And
all right, man.
It's good talking to you.
That job I like less than this one.
We'll see.